the way people got information out of people was by torture. And the general way to torture people, one doesn't have all sorts of instruments, the normal thing of using telephones, electricity around the balls and that sort of thing. That didn't always work. What you could do is take your billy can, put a cigarette in your billy can with some water, then put it up in a syringe, inject somebody under the arm, then the swelling comes up and it's extremely painful, and if you hit the swelling, the person would talk, or he wouldn't talk. Because you needed information. That guy's life meant absolutely nothing to you, because if you don't get that information, the other troops would come through, 10 or 20 people would die, so you had to get this information. There was no way. If you die in the process, bad luck.
I might belong to an APLA camp, and he might belong to MK, and he might belong to Azanla. But whenever the South African Defence Force or white troopers come in, they saw only black and they saw only terrorists or bastards. They shot us all alike. It was Swart Gefar. That's what you actually called us.
We had Cubans fighting us, we had Russians fighting us, we had black people fighting us. So for us, it wasn't a white-black thing, it was a national party versus communism thing. For us as foot soldiers. By the way, we were indoctrinated by our masters, if I can say it like that.
Ke joinile Mkhonto wesizwe ka hore ke bona hore batho ba heso ba sotleha haholo ele hore maburu a ba sotla and then bo comrade ba bang ba ka ba le ba bolawa ha bohloko ke mmuso wa apartheid regime. So ilare ka bona ka maburu ana hatelletse batho ha ke joina Umkhonto wesizwe kore white man ne ke sambatle at all ele hore ne nka bolaya ke bolaye leburu ka mkhona hatelletse bane ba hatelletse batho ka teng ho tloela ho tatemoholo ba rona ho fihlela ho generation ya rona.
What motivated me ukuthi ngijoine umzabalazo is the suffering yabantu base country. Not the way i-system the previous government ebe oppressive ngakhona and then be brutal ngakhona. We have been in schools to participate kuboma courses. Then the way amaphoyisa bewayuzwa ngakhona and then namasoja abawa brutalize abantu base country ngakhona. Then we felt ukuthi we need ukuthi nathi sihambe si take up ama arms so that sizokhona ukuthi si defend abantu base country.
That as far as the government of South Africa is concerned, as far as my colleague the Minister of Police is concerned, as far as the Commissioner of Police and the South African Police Force is concerned, the breakdown of law and order in South Africa will not be tolerated under any circumstances whatsoever.
I don't hate whites insofar as I'm concerned. I know they've been used by those who were in power by then, maintaining apartheid. So if you try to beat the shambok and you leave the man who's holding the shambok, we are wrong.
What was interesting is when I got to the army, I became a drill instructor. with no cadet background, but I learned quickly and I was a damn good drill instructor. When I was conscripted, I didn't have a choice. I suppose I could have refused, but the options you had then was go to detention barracks or something like that. And I decided, let's go through with it and make the best you can, which I did.
I was told, next year you got to register. You register for what? Register for the army.
Oh yeah, when you're 16
I
years
said, now
old.
why do I have to do that? I don't want to go to the army. Because I was a youngster. I wanted to pump and jive. Anyway, so I didn't worry about it. But then at the end of Standard 7, the army rocked up at the school. And we were told all males from 16 who have not, all males of 16 years old, and those that are older than 16 that have not registered, and we will check you, stand in a line and register. And we had to register.
We were the first conscripts. In other words, we didn't, whereas it was a ballot before, everybody had to go to the army. And the only way out was if you had a British passport. And my dad gave me an ultimatum. You either go to the army or I'll sign your application form for a British passport. He said, you've got until tomorrow morning to make up your mind. So I went to bed and I thought about it, and I thought, no, I'll go and do my army service.
Originally I was called up as a medic, and I said, look, I'm not a medic. So I went on a physical training instructor course in Heidelberg, and I became a PT instructor, which everybody else in the army hates. But I was a good PT instructor, and I got to eat out of real plates in the officers' mess. And I had a nice time in the army basically for 10 months at that stage. And afterwards camps, and then Angola happened. As a soldier, it's very difficult to overcome the enemy if you do not know who he is, where he is, what his face looks like. The first time I was under enemy fire, I thought somebody was snapping his fingers at me. I heard it. And I thought, no, what is this? And then I realized when I heard the shots happening, this was bullets going past you with the speed of sound. And then you just fall flat. That was my reaction, as flat as you can. And then you start firing back, and if you get somebody, I would have thought my reaction would have been, oh my God, I killed somebody. It wasn't, it was just, yes, I got him. And I'm alive. So it's a bit of a selfish thing, but it's self-preservation, I suppose. But different people react differently. I wouldn't say it's a nice thing to kill somebody, but it's very necessary to kill somebody, otherwise you're dead. I was deluded into becoming a fighting machine for the government by their lies to me, as every young white South African in those days. Botha and company lied to us. They made enemies out of people that really weren't our enemies. So what we did in the belief that we were doing the right thing, but obviously, in hindsight, we were wrong. We were seriously, seriously wrong.
I didn't like what was going on. It wasn't like a...
I still go back to what I said, that we must forgive and move forward. If you wish to keep in your mind your experiences and visit them unto your grandchildren, this forum isn't going to resolve it. You, in your own mind, you must move forward. I have moved forward. I have killed
But Michael, how can he move forward if he doesn't know what he must forgive? You must expose that to him. You must tell him that we've done this, we've done that.
Thank you.
Please forgive us.
Thank you, Mike.
If he doesn't know what
Well, then you must explain to him what you think we did.
Why can't you come forward and say it? Because you came knowing very well that those are some of the questions that we're going to ask you. We are still having a backlog of some of our comrades or our combatants who were in the bushes, who did not surface even today. We did not know, or we don't know where they are. Definitely they are dead, but now, as to where are their graves, where are their ashes? So I'm saying, Major, are you willing to divulge whatever atrocities you carried out? Where are their remnants?
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
Because it's a highly...
No, I don't know. I've revealed everything already, so we're going round and around in circles. I've revealed everything that I have done. And unfortunately, there's no more. I mean, Michael hasn't told anything that he did.
We are coming to him. It's not off the hook. We are coming to him.
Yeah.
The indoctrination kept going on, and especially if you have a little bit of grey matter between your ears, you look at these guys trying to tell you how good P.W. Botha is, how good the nationalists are, how people are looking after one another, and you grew up with black and coloured friends, and you knew they're not getting the same treatment, and now you've got to shoot black people, which, I mean, you don't know them. It's like Muhammad Ali said, you know, I've got no fight against them Viet Cong. I didn't hate the guys that I had to, whatever, but we were forced to do that. And in that process as well, you listen to radio, and you're in Angola, for instance, being an ops medic there, which I was called up as, you actually busy putting people or pieces of people into body bags, and you hear P.W. Botha or somebody saying, no, there are no troops in Angola, it's a lie. And you are sitting there with dead people or pieces of people. And that makes you feel, hey, don't I exist? Give me credit, even if it's credit for institutionalized murder.
I said to you, when I actually divulged my own involvement in the struggle, I said to you, my own organization used me many a time, not even once, many a time. I did things that I do regret today. I did say that. I'm not afraid to say that. But when I ask you directly as to, are you proud that we are the defender of the so-called white supremacy? You said, no, Colonel, I cannot, you go back to your history to be telling. I said, as a major, can you simply sit there and drink beer and tell me that there's nothing to be discussed about that, we must just forgive and forget? That's what I'm...
You were denied land ownership, and you were denied education, and you were denied education in your own right, and you were denied the vote. So you were powerless politically and...
economically.
Yeah, and economically.
Economically, true.
Yeah. You were deprived of everything, so I can understand what caused it.
Uyabona esikhathini esiningi umntwana the way umkhulisa ngakhona bebaba brainwash right from basesebancane. They were being brainwashed ukuthi when they look at a black person they see enye into nje different kunabo, babona nje isilwane, uyabona leyo nto leyo. So it was upon us ukuthi silwela amalungelo wabo wonke umuntu ukuthi siba educate, uyabona siba educate kanjani. Uyabona sometimes kunokuthi kufike elifeni wena ungatoyitoya mara mayingafike endlebeni yomuntu kumele ke ukuqinisa isandla ukuze lo muntu abone ukuthi lento le eyenzakalayo iserious. Ngathi ngithi uyabona akusibo bonke abamhlophe abachange, abanye they still believe kunamhlanje ukuthi umuntu omnyama will never be an equal to yena. Bona beba user even nama churches ukuthi ba push through the system yabo ye apartheid, because they were babashumayela nasemasontweni ukuthi kahle kahle bona they were given ama rights by uGod ukuthi barule over iAfrika.
Ons het nie nodig om te verduidelik dat ons wit is. God het ons so gemaak en vrou as sy kinders staan ons daarby. Ons geagte meneer die voorsitter het nie nodig om grond te vra. Ons het grond, ons is die beskawers van Suid-Afrika.
Comrades, we're making no apologies. That's it, so that our people can have access to the land. Equally, we're making no apologies. That's it, food must be free and compulsory. We're also making no apologies. That's it, medical care must be free and compulsory. We shall fight for those demands.
Yeah, okay, from my position, I had to do this because it is a right. I think morally it was right to defend what I did. Here we are. We are saying we have done what we had to do. But we need recognition because we are not recognized at the present moment. We did not even bury our comrades. They were buried in paupers' funerals because of lack of funds. And it is a shame on this particular present regime and the previous one that they could not recognize the input that were made by those former comrades.
It's a hanako intse ya hoba wa fihla mo hoba ele hore wa buiswana le ona maburu. And then kamora mo ba bang ba rona hape ne re tsweditse hantle hore ha re kena South Africa re kena ho la sethunya fela. Jwale ha wa etsahala ka mokgwa o. Empa nna ke re okay ho etsahaetse hantle ho be le tsela e nngwe ya hore ho ba le kutlwisisano hara batho ba batsho le maburu.
Good evening.
The prohibition of the African National Congress, the Pan-Africanist Congress, the South African Communist Party and a number of subsidiary organizations is being rescinded. I repeat, the prohibition of the African National Congress, the Pan-Africanist Congress, the South African Communist Party and a number of subsidiary organizations is being rescinded. In pursuance of my opening address to Parliament, I am now in a position to announce that Mr. Nelson Mandela will be released at the Victor Verster prison on Sunday, the 11th of February.
Some of the people they don't appreciate ama sacrifices okuthi ayenzwe abo comrade bethu yabantu balwela lenkululeko to such an extent ukuthi you find ukuthi abantu abanye banokukhuluma amagama afani ngabo comrade yabantu ukuthi abanye ba spend isikhathi ehlathini for what babuyile bayahuzuka futhi abanani ngabe bavele bazihlalela nje bazisebenzela or bafunda ngabe namhlanje bayi something uyabona. So abantu aba understand ukuthi I price ebhadaliwe for this democracy ama sacrifices ayenziwe abo comrade bethu for this I democracy.
Ntho e etsahalang hona jwale e makatsang re ile ra joina mkhonto wesizwe ra gutla ele hore ba bangata the members of mkhonto wesizwe ba sutleya aba sebetsi ba bang bana le malapa wa bona ele hore bana le bana aba khone hore ba ka ba supporta bana ba bona di families tsa bona hantle ba kwalletswe ka ntle
I feel personally, you guys fought a freedom war. We were in the wrong. We were fighting a war, but the ideology behind our war was wrong. The apartheid was wrong. But what I'm coming down to is, what did you guys get after you won the war? What happened to you guys on the ground?
So far, the South African ex-combatants got zilch out of whatever they've done. We are still saying we don't have bursaries for our children. We cannot get proper employment from whatever institutions. We don't have medical aids. We don't have housing schemes. What is your view to the TRC that took place? Do you say it has done enough or not?
It hasn't done enough.
It hasn't done enough.
It hasn't done enough.
What do you think should be done?
I personally think that they should get a commission together from the guys like you that was on the ground. And these guys must run the TRC.
What do we say? We say TRC has done something for a country. No. TRC is just a mockery situation whereby people, they wanted to come and vindicate or put excuses for them participating in killing our own family members and our own sons and daughters. So I feel really that the TRC has done nothing so far as I'm concerned.
It was a reconciliation process. I don't say it was perfect, but it was better than nothing.
Do you think everything was open and...
No. The whole truth didn't come out. But as I say, something's better than nothing.
The purpose of the TRC as was, it was, one would say, put forward. It was to heal the wounds. The wounds are still there. So TRC, it was a futile exercise. We are still putting it to whoever has organized the TRC, that you must revisit and do a proper work and a proper job, so that this, one would say, stage can be passed on for good and forever. And we have people to be healed by those who perpetrated the evil acts of killing our brothers.